Hello, hello. Welcome to my walking club. I hope you already joined. If you didn't, you can. It's free to join. You don't have to sign anything and there is no paper to fill out. So just join in today. My walking club is about walking and it's for me. I am a modern Forrest Gump and I'm walking around the world. Right now I'm in Colombia and you can absolutely walk where you are because in these days and times we have digitally connected the whole world through the web. So be present to your web, who are around you, what kind of web you've created so far for your life. And if you'd like to join other webs, hi, it's good to meet you. I tag people every time because I believe that connection is very personal and important, and I always tag people with the intention. My intention is not necessarily for you to walk. My intention is for me to walk and for me to connect and for me to enjoy that connection. And that's how energy works in life. It works through your personal desires, needs, missions, actions. Everything is about you. Even when you think that you're helping other people, it's never about other people. It is about you. And when you have your personal intention for you, the way you want it, the way you like it, the way you believe your energy moving today in this moment towards something that you want, you meet what do you call it? Like-minded people. Like-minded people. You meet people that actually want what you want on this one particular day, in this one particular minute, which might be different later on. So if you see me right now, if you've been tagged or you just randomly open your Facebook and you see me, that means in this moment, your soul, your mind, your body, some part of you, some subconscious part of you or conscious part of you needs to start moving. Why movement is so important? I talked about it on every broadcast every time, so I'm not going to start talking about it right now. I just want to point out that movement is the sign of life. So when you feel nothing's moving in your life, when you feel things are getting stuck or you're stuck with the same thought going around and around, or with the same emotion, or with the same amount of people in your practice, or with the same ideas at your work, or in the same work, or in the same relationship. If you feel stuck, it doesn't mean you need to move something out of or in your relationship or your work or anything else. Sometimes it just simply means you need to start moving, because everything that we see and experience in life is the reflection of our thoughts, ideas, even our name, even when we were born, and of course where we were born. All the limitations that were overimposed on us by loving parents. Don't go there, you're gonna fall, you're gonna be scared, somebody's gonna take you away. Even by the inspirations, you should go bigger, brighter, you need to be a star. Not everybody is the same. So when we follow the same ideas or the same rules and limitations or regulations, let's call it, we become not one as universe thought of us, because in energy we're one with creation, we're creators that are in the process of creation, creating something that we want to create, consciously or unconsciously. So if you're not trusting that you are a creator, look at the results of your life that you've accomplished so far. Those are your creations. Of course, we create with other people. We are co-creators, of course. But we are also part of the bigger creation process, and in this creation process we all have our own place, like a thread in the fabric of humanity, but also a thread in the fabric of cosmic realm. So when you do not understand who you are, what you are, why you are, who you are with, that simply means that you are not paying attention to what you are creating. If you look around and see what you're creating, you will totally understand who you are. You know those sayings, tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. Or tell me who your closest people are, I'll tell you who you are. So people you constantly communicate with, spend your time with, support, help, or they support you. These are the reflections of who you are, the facets of God. And when I say God, I do not mean one special God that is my God. We all have our own understanding and idea of what God is. For me, it's a creative process of creation, in a process of creation that never stops. It was always moving. And what was always moving? It is the energy. It's an electricity. It's what life is about. When we don't have any more impulses, there is no more firing. Neurons, photons, protons, electrons are not moving, we're dead. So I believe the electricity was there always, because life is electricity, but how life manifests itself depends on the creator in the process of creation with the intention to create. And so as you look around yourself, for example, I'm in Colombia and I'm in this little resort. It's not that little, but beautiful resort in which we will dance tango for 1 week with Colombian natives and also people that came from other parts of the world. And that's extremely exciting. Why is it exciting? Because it's tango, which is the art form of connecting in close embrace. What is embrace? It's a hug. People study embrace, people take classes how to embrace. But the truth of the matter is to embrace is to let something in, to be open enough to open your arms and bring somebody in close, somebody in your embrace. And you enclose in somebody, in this embrace, somebody you don't know, it's a stranger. There is a book in A Stranger's Embrace that talks about it. And as you allow somebody you don't know to come in, it's pretty risky. The body could be different, the smell could be different, the size could be different. Good morning. The intentions could be different. Many things about our physical personal appearance is different because we are individual with our own suitcase and suit for the life on earth, because life on earth is not that easy for the cosmic beings that we are, for the spiritual beings that we are. So we all create a body that works for it. And one day, when I immigrated from Ukraine to America, it was about 35 years ago, I've created a suit or a suitcase in which I put my soul, and it was size 14. It was about 8 sizes bigger than I am right now. So, of course, it was very heavy for me to connect with anybody, because connection requires energy. To open your soul requires a lot of sources and resources. So being connected to the source of electricity, which is the nature, cosmic realms, earth realms, planetary influences, sun, light, moonlight, all of those are the sources of energy and information. But people use each other for the source of information. So, for example, in tango, if you're a beginner, you can lean on somebody who is more advanced, because they will lead you, they will show you what to do, they will think through of what kind of things could happen, and they will give you support in the area that you will feel that you are the great dancer. That's why dancing with the teachers. Everybody dreams about dancing with the teachers. Of course, it's very pleasant because teachers will substitute for you all the movements that you cannot do. They will do for you, and you will feel great. But then if they go away dancing with somebody next, you will start feeling like those other people are insufficient because you're so good and you can dance so well, but all of a sudden you can't. So my journey in tango was from the student to the teacher, and now I can dance with anybody. Do I want to dance with anybody is a different story. It doesn't depend on the level. It depends on the level of connection, not the level of dancing. And again, many people do not understand why people don't want to dance with me, because not everybody can connect in the same way. And connection, as I said, is the embrace. It's ability to have enough resources to open your soul, to open your heart, to open your body, to open your embrace, to open your smile to somebody you don't know. And maybe that's the only dance you have. We usually dance 3 dances. Maybe it's the only tanda you have, and you will never meet this person again. So in that moment, you have the only chance and the only opportunity. And I truly believe tango is such a metaphor for life, because that's how it is in life. we meet somebody, we see somebody, and we immediately judge. This is not for me, this is for me, this is too small, this is too big, this is too fat, this is too thin, this is too high, this is too low, this is too expensive, this is not expensive enough. And as soon as we separate, we create at least one division. It's 50-50 or 70-30 or whatever the number might be of the opportunities, possibilities, potentials that we're immediately separate from by the judgment. So in all my years in tango, I've learned that at least smile and have a conversation. Some people are so scared that you will come into their embrace unsolicited that they wouldn't even smile and say hello. And that's how we behave in life as well. So it's been a big journey for me as well. I came from the Soviet Union, very structured and regulated country. You just don't go around smiling and you don't tell anybody your business. But I've learned that if you don't smile, people see you as intimidating, which I'm not intimidating. But I've heard 1,000 times that you are intimidating. I'm very focused on activities. And when I'm focused, it might look like as I'm not out here to meet anybody. So being aware of how you appear outside of your own thinking is important. Even asking questions, the people that you already know. When I'm sitting out there, how do I look to you? Please observe me for a week, for a day, for 1 hour, for 5 minutes, and give me a feedback. And when you get a feedback, don't take it personally, because it's not about you as a soul. You as a soul, as a personality of the cosmic creator, have an open approach to everything, and you have an amazing ability to connect. But as an individual, we learn to protect ourselves from all kinds of interesting things that could come our way, and we don't feel that they're interesting, we feel that they're scary. Do you know that anxiety, which is the mark of the day, and the excitement is pretty much the same. Excitement is to be surprised. And you know, when you're surprised, you this kind of feeling, but when you're scared, that kind of feeling as well. And butterflies in the stomach also very similar. So you can judge it as a fear and go into anxiety and even label it and say, oh, I have anxiety all the time, I'm so scared, I'm worried, I don't know what's gonna happen. Of course we don't. That's a surprise idea. You never know what's there. When you open the gift, there could be who knows what. But you believe, you think, that's your perspective on things, that in the box, in that gift, something good should be for me, right? So when you open it and you don't like it, you might feel like, that's not what I've expected. But expectation is not necessarily the mood for the celebration. So when you set things as an expectation, it should be this way, it should be this way. Yes, of course, you might not see the same picture in the reality that you see in your head. And then you have disappointment. You miss an appointment with your picture. Well, that happens. Sometimes we miss appointment with the doctor, with the friend, or with ourselves. So missing appointment with one picture that you've created in your head is not a big deal. You can make another picture, or you can meet something that you see in front of you. And if you meet something or somebody, I'm here for you, hello, that is in front of you, you might be surprised. Well, I didn't know you do this. I didn't know you are that. I didn't know you have that question or that issue or that problem. How can I be of service? Being of service for many people is a big, huge idea. One day I will stop doing this, which I'm doing right now, and I will all of a sudden become something else, and I'll be a great person of service to humanity. We are in service of humanity all the time, just by our vibration, by how we show up in our life, in our decisions, in our smile, in our embrace, how we make decisions, and most importantly, how we react, how we respond, how we feel, how we influence everything with our personal energy. So the personal energy is an electrical field. That electrical field is not about other people, it's about us. So when somebody is scared and we register it as that is scary, that is our reaction. Because everybody has their own vibrational quality, we could feel what's out there and discern what it is only by our own understanding of what it is. So if we don't experience fear in general, seeing somebody scared would be strange, because you would not understand why are they so scared. Seeing somebody in anxiety would not be relevant to you. You would understand somebody's suffering, but you would not understand why, because maybe for you anxiety is not a thing. The same way, if you're so elevated, elated, so in cosmic understanding of the world, people who are scared or in anxiety would not position you on a map. They would not understand who you are. I actually had an experience when I went to base camp of Mount Everest. My husband climbed all the way up to the top of the world, and I went all the way to the base camp, which is 5,500 meters, 5.5 kilometers, which is a very high point in which your head doesn't work well. But I've taken with me a wonderful being, but not very mentally stable being, which was on all kinds of drugs to support that mental stability. But at the time, all the practitioners who worked with this person decided to take that being off the mats and send her for a spiritual journey with me, because I'm pretty magical and I can do stuff, and I also very educated in mental emotional health and psychosomatics and bioresonance approach. So we went, and boy, it was an educational trip for me, because I started with, let's write a book, let's paint a painting. You're so talented, which that being was very talented and very young, in I don't remember, 33, 35, something like that. So let's do something amazing. But that being could not position me on the map of consciousness, because for that person, fear, anxiety, being possessed by who knows what dreams, haunted dreams, nightmares, all of that was much stronger in the field of that being. So being together in the same field, I've gotten to places I've never been before. Because like I said, I'm a magician, I'm a storyteller, I am an uplifter, I am a motivator, I am a realizer, I am a perfectionist, and here you go. No matter what I do, boom, 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 boom. And so at the end, I got into a place of being extremely angry, because under anger is a depression. You can look up the emotional scale. And when I got into that place of extreme anger, I realized that I just lost my power of motivation, inspiration, storytelling. My magic is gone, and I needed some other magic. And fear, which is underneath of anger, gives you the power of hiding and shutting down. And that's not me at all. I'm a star on my universe, so I have to shine somehow. And so I had an explosion, a supernova. I exploded, and it saved my life, because I was at the age of the abyss, and the being that I was traveling with was big, tall, and strong, and bigger in terms of the weight. And so I was hanging above this abyss, saying goodbye to my relatives, and the world I know came through my consciousness in front of my eyes, and I used that anger. I grabbed that being, that person, pulled myself up from the abyss. I broke my thumb, not broke, but there was a problem, and it came out of the space, its own space, but I saved my life. And for the first time in my life, I understood that there is power in anger. I actually experienced anger when I was younger with my mother and my father, and I fought with them for my freedom and for my ability to identify with the things that are important to me. But I could never experience the power. I could experience the fight. So I knew how to fight. But I did not know the power in this anger is so strong that I could save my life. And it expanded my mind. It expanded my ability to be in this world, present to everything that's there, and not pretend anymore that I only have half of the possibilities of expression. So if you experience strong emotions, strong disappointments, strong anger, strong fear, strong love, anything strong is the surge of power. It's your electricity coming through, and it absolutely should not be compressed, suppressed, because suppressed emotions show up on a physical level, unfortunately, as psychosomatic events. So again, in my practice, there was a woman, adult woman, mature woman, who had issues with her parents or whatever. So she came for emotional help, mental emotional help. And when we started working, she had such a strong pain in the area of her appendix. She was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die now, I'm gonna die now. And what happened, I brought her into her body, reminding her that the body is the memory. It creates memories, the body creates memories, not our mind. Our mind can access the memories, but the memories are in the body. And she came to that place where she experienced the pain, and the picture popped up. Her mind, her subconscious, had a picture, and the body had a access button. So when we looked into that picture, she was in a hospital having an appendix, and nobody was there with her, for her. The mother or the father, nobody. She was young, she was alone, and she thought that she's dying because nobody explained what is going on. She went on anesthesia, but some of the things she heard and remembers through that anesthesia even. Because do you think when you're asleep you don't hear anything? Of course you do. There are even studies that you can learn languages in your sleep because your subconscious mind is getting that, right? Your conscious mind opens up. When I went to Istanbul for my studies of Syucai, the teacher said, no worries, you will fall asleep if you feel a lot of resistance. I know it for myself. When you have a lot of resistance, you fall asleep because you cannot be there. Or if the formation is so big and so well structured that your mind, with its chaotic tendencies, cannot accept it, the body will put you to sleep. You will sleep, but you will never forget. The things will be there, and with the appropriate button, access button, you will have that information. And at the end of the study, our teacher, Zhanat Kozhamzharov, digital psychology, Syucai, knowing everything through the metrics of your life, of your birth date, gave us an initiation. And that initiation was about, you know everything that you need to know to be a master of Syucai. You are a master, go and share. And everybody is like, what? But interestingly enough, the information comes in as we talk. Every one of us talk differently, but the information of Syucai comes through every one of us because it's already there. So the same way, your life experience is already there just because you lived it and your body has a memory of it, and it has the access button, and it's usually a painful access button because body does not need to remember happy moments. Why? Because it's safe. Body is very ancient and it's there to protect you. So if you only have memories of happy moments, you might not be safe. You'll be very elated and you might get into a very dangerous situation. But if your body remembers everything that is unsafe and everything that you've experienced on a painful side of your psychology or your physicality or your emotionality or whatever else, you actually will be much more safer. Why? Because the body will hold you hostage. It will create a pain of some sort, and you would need to go to the doctor and take care of yourself, or go take a pill or do something about it, so your thought and your movement will be distracted from the goal that you are moving to. So why do you need to move? Because as you move, you change physical position, you change electricity of your body, you change emotional state, because the higher your electricity, the less connection with the low emotional states you can hold on. Of course, you can remember this happened and that happened, but you would need an effort for it. But as you walk, and if you walk briskly and moving up and forward, as in tango, we always go like this, as if we want to reach something from the high kitchen cabinet. With an accent on the ball of your foot. You start with your heel, but you roll through the ball of your foot, and your toe is the last one to have that roll. Immediately, your body gets activated. The sides of your body get activated. And if you walk straight forward, you know, some people walk like this, side to side, side to side. Especially when you get older, we believe it helps with stability. So even doctors will say, you know, try to have a wider stand. The truth of the matter is, wider stand does not help. Even in tango, people, men sometimes do not collect their feet, and they walk side to side, and the woman wobbles with them, and we lose the connection and we lose the stability. To gain a stability in your body, you need to connect to your spine, because spine is the light channel. It holds the nervous system. The information comes, the prana, the energy of cosmic realms, the knowledge, the information comes through and goes down to your body. And as you walk down with your feet grounded on the earth, the information comes from the earth through your body. Those energies meet at the heart. When they meet at the heart, they multiply and explode, they become bigger, your influence becomes bigger. But if you're blocking one of those energies, especially like now I'm walking in my shoes, walking on the grass would be much more optimal, or on the sand. I usually walk when I'm in Florida. I walk on the beach, because you connect to the energy of the earth much more effectively than if you're connecting through your shoes with the rubber sole, for example. And when you are able to simultaneously be upright, focusing the top of your head to the sky, and focusing your spine and the heels to the ground, and walking so your heels are almost brushing as you're moving forward, one step at a time. Then you connect you create that channel connection between the earth, your spine, as a bridge, and the energy of prana, the air you breathe, the oxygen, the information that comes through neutrinos, which are tiny, tiny particles with the mass that pick up information from all the planets and bring it back to us, pick up information from us, bring it back to the cosmos. And that's what makes you feel like one, and that's how you access your sphere of knowledge. We all have the sphere. We are born with particular influences. One is the day of our birth, is, how we think, who we are, what our desires are. I want this and not that, and I want things my way. And everybody wants things in their own way, depending on the number of the birth. If you didn't hear it in my previous broadcast, I was explaining about every number, and I will also have a master class in November about your particular number. I will do personal sessions, and through the personal experience, you will understand even deeper. And of course, I will give you some theory about it. Because this is not your regular numerology. Of course, you've heard about numerology, and the numbers are everywhere in our life. We measure everything in numbers. But the numbers are qualities. For example, this is the quality of 1, right? If I show you one figure, you know it's one figure, not 5. So every number is a symbol to some quality, to some information that is particular to this quality. And so people learn to create symbols for sounds, which are the letters, and numbers, which are the qualities. But interestingly enough, in ancient time, those were interchangeable. Letters had numbers, numbers had could be expressed through the letters. And qualities are always expressed through the electricity, because the quality of a life is electrical current. The quality of death is no electrical current, just the tissues. And the tissues cannot survive without impulses. And the person cannot survive without impulses in his head, her head, which are connection of neurons making new embraces. So in our life, we are only alive while we're still able to see connection between us and everything else. When this connection is gone, we disconnect, and sometimes people call it Alzheimer's disease or dementia. This is the beginning of the death, because when you are not present to what is, you're present in your past. And our past, like I said, usually holds the information of safety, how to be safe, which is sometimes could look like nightmares. And then you disconnect yourself from the memory, and the body functions automatically, which is also possible, but what kind of fun when somebody has to take care of you all the time. You're no longer a being that you used to be or you want to be. So in order to support your life and support life on earth and support the vibrational quality, we are responsible for those numbers 1 through 9. So how you are born, on the day you're born gives you one quality, and then after you're 33, remember Christ showed up at 33 as a different person, no longer a son of the carpenter, but a teacher, and later on he was brought into the status of God and son of God. And so this is an important date. So if you're under 33, your job is to realize who you are right now, because at 33 you become a different person. And what you realize right now, what you've learned, what you how you service the world, how you brought your knowledge into the fabric of humanity, how much practice you've gotten, could be translated into your mission. But the mission is not necessarily the same number. The mission or the karma or the action is how you show up. And so after 33, you don't have 100% of who you are or who you thought you are. You only have 30% of it. And now you cannot, for example, I'm 7, so I'm a fast realizer. I realize things. I implement things very fast and usually pretty good. So at 33, I couldn't do it anymore. I was a teacher before, a very sought-after teacher. I was a very creative, innovative teacher, very spiritual teacher for the children and for the parents, and I did a lot of consultations for everybody. And I went to study in Pedagogical Institute in Russia. I've gotten my degree. Then I came here, and at the 33 age, between 32 and 33, I felt that energy, that I'm no longer the teacher. I cannot be a teacher. I need to be something else. And I decided I want to be a psychologist. But everybody around me knew me as a teacher. Oh, you should continue being a teacher. You're such a great teacher, such an amazing teacher. Why would you need to go and study something else and spend so many years? And your children will go to college while you're going to college. Not a good idea. I'm like, okay, fine. So I take another degree. This time it was psychology of the leadership, but still in the teacher arena, in a pedagogical arena. So I never received a formal psychology degree. But what happened, those actions, after 33, you cannot stop yourself. The mission, your karma says, that's how it's going to be, no matter what you do, that's how it's going to be. I'm in charge now. And what do you think? I went to study in 2 coaching schools, 2, never 1. Because I want everything. I'm still thinking as 7, everything perfect, wonderful, and fast. Simultaneously, 2 coaching schools. At the same time, bioresonance practitioners, 2 different schools. Medical approach to mental health through holographic memory resolution, 1 school, and Wavemaker school, it's Wavemaker coaching, it's another school. And then I went to study with one of the most innovative authors in the medical field. She was neurosurgeon, she was reflexology, therapy, everything. And she realized through all her practices how everything is connected in the body and how it's all come to this understanding of who you are and how you communicate who you are into the world through your through the same concepts I'm talking about. And her name is Olga Kuzmenko. She's in Moscow right now. And I've studied with her, with all her machines. So I have a number of things that I try to do to be who I was supposed to be, because my mission is 9, and my mission is about medicine, philosophy, and protection. So all my life, I protect people from bad things that might happen to them. So when they come to my consultations, I see 3 to 5 years into their health and into their business and into their family. Only if you ask. I never look into somebody without anybody's asking, because it's way too much. And when people come second time, they say, remember you said, and I always say, no, I don't. Because if I remember anything and everything that I see in your fields, I'll go crazy myself. So unnecessary. But I can read the channel, and if I read it 5 years later, most likely I will see the same thing, but in progression. And so I used to record my sessions, and people would say, why didn't tell me before? I'm like, listen to your recording. Because if I'm telling you this now, it's been there 5 years before. And they go and release, and right now I don't do recordings, but back in the day I did. And they go and they listen, and go, oh my God, why didn't I listen? And so this is the very important insight. The knowledge comes when you're ready to receive it. If you're listening to me right this moment, you're ready to receive it. If you're not listening to me this moment, that's okay. That means you don't need that right this moment. But if you listen to this broadcast 5 minutes later or 5 days later, my intention to save whoever needs to be saved, but using the knowledge. I'm not saving personally anybody, because it's impossible. Not everybody needs to be saved. Very often people are souls who planned that kind of situation in their life script, and they need to go through to understand their lessons. And it's who am I to change the course of it? It's actually karma. So I don't change anybody's course, and if I see something and I'm not asked, I'm not gonna tell, because I used to. That doesn't end up for people very well as well, because they were not ready to receive this information. So, if you're interested, of course. If you're not interested, that may be later on when you listen to this broadcast or any other broadcast I already did, you will go, wow, where was I before? But it just means that you were not ready and your energy was not congruent with what I'm sharing, because my energy is this kind of energy. And people who are on the same wavelengths will always receive the benefit, and they will bring themselves to safety. And to bring themselves to safety is very simple. We experience crisis to transform our understanding, but we can also learn. That will also transform. Look at those birds, yellow and red. We're in Colombia, so the birds are very different. In Florida, they're all very big. Here we have small and very, very colorful birds. So just like this bird, you come above the level that you have right now. You get to the information that was not available to you because the level of the energy was different. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Like I said, on the age of that abyss, anger saved my life. And that's not a very high energy. Anger is like 70. Love is 500. Interest in life is 350. Understanding is 400 hertz. And enlightenment, which means I am light enough to see the light, to communicate with light, to be as photon and proton available to change that is happening every moment. The change is happening right this moment. And whoever is listening to this broadcast, what I say is not important. What happens in this broadcast, we are connecting in the embrace of the field of everyone who is involved, which is the like-minded people, and the field of my current teacher, Zhanat Kozhamzharov, the creator of Syucai program, and the field of all the teachers that I've studied with. Last year, the year that's coming to the end, is my personal year number 3, which is the year of analysis and systematization of all the knowledge. Boy, I was started. I started crazy in end of October 23, through all the 24. It was such an intense study. I still continue studying, because that's the year to study, to understand how to put things together. And Syucai creates that structure for me, for everybody, to see the world through the 9 qualities, 9 numbers, very easy to understand, 9 qualities of what your mission and actions are, what your thinking is, what your name is about, because name also has letters which end up being numbers. And next time I will talk about your personal calendar. I started talking about it last time, but I will go into more detail later on how to calculate what kind of year you're living. Because every year has its own flavor, right? So if it's a year of strategy for you and for your spouse is the year of completion, you think about something new, he thinks about how to finish things, how to break things. And in such years, you will lose some things, and maybe even your relationship. Absolutely unnecessary. If you're strategic enough and you're first to understand your husband or your wife and move together as a unit, see what needs to be completed in your relationship and what needs to be new, how it needs to be different. And if you are in energy in the year 7, it's a year of transformation. So you will experience crisis unless you learn, which is the year number 4, coming for me in January, would be learning how to expand my knowledge, because I know a lot already. I'm already building the system right now. So the next year would be about knowledge coming into the world, because the knowledge is absolutely unique and at the same time encompassing of everything else I've ever known in a very structural and very easy, palatable and digestible way. So if your year is 7, you can learn what crises you're facing or about to face, and you will still experience crisis, because 7 is about transformation, and you transform through knowledge or crisis. But if you have knowledge, the crisis does not kill you, and it doesn't kill anybody around you, and you don't lose as much. But everything that is leaving your field is for you to see that it's not yours to hold on, that it takes so much energy to hold on to things that are not yours. And everything that is coming in are the things for you to expand and enclose. So I started this broadcast with the tango. The tango embrace is about letting things in. And it's a metaphor for life. We are dancing through life all the time. And depending on what kind of year, we're also dancing, not only with the day we're born, not only with the mission we have, not only with the way we think, not only with our name that influences how you wake up and what you do. My name ends up with 1, popularity. I hope I'm popular enough to bring this knowledge and make it more popular. And if I'm not popular, I'm hoping that you will learn something and you will spread the word and help the people that you know understand things better. But most importantly, not make them be like you, especially the children. This is my passion. I'm a teacher after all. I've written books about parenting through the teaching through the parenting, and also how you relate to each other, and also books for children, because I truly believe that if you are trying to make children little you, it will not end up well, because the children are the mirrors, of course, and you will see everything you don't see in yourself, in your children, which will compromise your relationship, to say at least. For example, I'm very controlling in terms of how things should be. I'm very strategic. And when I see my daughter being very controlling, I believe her strategy is wrong. But the truth of the matter is, we have our strategies. Every one of those numbers, from 1 to 9, has its own strategy. So if one wants to be the strategist, and organize the company according to the strategies, I, for example, consult businesses on the safe strategy, so they don't lose the money or they don't lose the business, and how to position people in the business so you have the right person at the right desk, right? You don't want to have the minister of finances to be in the place of agricultural ministry, because you're not going to have any harvest. They will do things differently. So you want to have right people at the right places. And understanding that, you will also understand that if somebody is a diplomat number 2, their strategy is different. They will save relationship at any cost. They will compromise themselves to help others. They will do things that are not necessarily in their interest when they are in a low vibrational quality, which also is the expression of our mental emotional state. So I know I bring a lot on those broadcasts, but like I said, it's not what I say. It's not about my thick Russian accent. It's about the energy I create. It's a tornado, it's a swirl. So every time you're on those broadcasts, and especially if you're walking, if you're sitting, it's like you're sitting and you're eating. And I don't know, 5 teaspoons of honey later, it's too sweet and you cannot take it. My name is Svetlana, so I give you sweet knowledge. But if you sit, that knowledge gets up to here, and you go, I'm tired, she's too much, she's too fast, and she gives too much, and I cannot handle it anymore, which I've heard about myself. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop giving, because for some people who are on the same wavelengths, it's okay, it's good, and give me more, not enough. So if you're born on the 7th, for sure, or 25th of the month, right? So when you are, or 16th. So if you're 7th, it's never enough, you need more of it, and the more you need, the more I'll give you. But whatever you need, I've already given you, and the amount of knowledge that you've taken from this broadcast or another broadcast is exactly what you need, it's exactly how much you need, and it's exactly the moment of what you need to hear from me or anybody else. And your job is not to miss your teacher. I'm not saying I'm a teacher for everybody. I'm not even saying I'm a teacher. I'm a star in your universe. So if that star is blinking for you today, why not pick up some light and move on? And as you're moving, the energy of your dragon, your electricity that slips at the coccyx at the bottom of your butt, starts moving through your spine, energizing your nervous system. And nervous system is a wiring. So that wires come through the spine to all the organs. So if one of the organs are compromised, if you feel some sort of pain, something's not moving well, something's not feeling well, that means that wire is loose. You don't want to have loose wires in your body, and you don't want to have any loose wires here for sure. So as you move, the dragon energy starts moving, and it starts pushing energy through. And where you have blockages, what is the blockage? The blockage is the clip your consciousness put on the stream of energy and information to protect you from acting on that energy and information. The way it looks like is, I went there, I step in a pile of poop, and if I go there again, I will step in the same pile of poop, and it will smell badly, and I don't want it in my life. Well, you can never go the same place twice. You think. But even the physical place, you go to the same place twice, it changes because different people were there, there's different electricity, time goes on, some things get renovated, updated. So you never go to the same place. There is a saying, you cannot step into the same water twice because it's always moving. And we are in the stream of energy and information. So it's always moving. No matter what happens, you've changed, the place changed, the time is different, the intent is different. So things are never be the same. So your consciousness, subconsciousness puts the clip for you not to try it again. But if you understand that it's just a clip and you unclip it and you go, I used to do it and it was very useful. I wouldn't use it if it wouldn't be useful. I will only use things that are useful, and it was very useful to save me, but not anymore, because right now it saves me from wonderment, from new experiences, from surprises of life, from electricity of life. Because through the crisis I also feel the transformation, my energy mobilized, moving forward, saving my life or somebody's life, you know. There is a phenomenon when something happens to the child, the mother can save it at incredible speed. And I've seen videos when the mother was hanging on 2 fingers over the window, holding the child's hand that was falling out of the window until the people arrived to save her. So we all have it. We are superpowers in the world. We just forget to be as such because we're clipped everywhere and we have loose wires. And the energy does not move properly. So the dragon is at the bottom, and therefore it's always going like, rah, rah, rah. So we're scared or we're hungry. Either way, we overeat, we make ourselves comfortable, and then we don't need to do anything. But if you start moving, dopamine, serotonin in the sun, for example, gets into your stream. And so now your nervous system is energized, and the proper hormones are moving through into your head, and your head can give a better signal back to the body, so the body can work more optimally. But you also start seeing things. You see the colors of the world. You sense, you smell, you touch, and you have an experiences that are no longer at 5% or 10%. You know how you come and you go, this is not good. And immediately your energy is down and you cannot experience the world. But when you go, it's like, interesting, what is it about? And you try, and you taste, and you smell, and you touch, and then you can make a decision. That's for me, that's not for me. Nobody says you have to embrace everything. Maybe one day when you're fully enlightened and you're just a stream of photons and protons, oh my God, we're gonna have some music right there. Hello. So when you're fully enlightened and you can have that feeling of light, there is no barriers, right? The barriers are created by individuality. But when you don't feel as individual, you cannot express as individual. So you choose. You could go back to God and be one with God and in the energy, but you lose the human connection. Or you can continue suffering through the human connection and blame everybody for the way you feel. Or you can be elated by the way you feel. Wow, I am alive. How many people are not? I feel that. My house is falling apart a little bit, but I can change it. I can do repairs, for example, or I can move in a different place. I don't like the weather. Okay, fine, I move to Florida. Okay, I don't necessarily enjoy the same activities again and again. Okay, I'll travel. Or I do something else. We have choices, and those choices require sources and resources. So the source is the sky, the cosmos that comes through our spine down to the heart, and from the earth all the way to the heart. And when they connect, you create a field which is charged by your heart. So what's in your heart today? What kind of thinking did you bring into your heart? Heart is not about thinking. So if you're thinking too much, move around, the energy of the top goes and down. The energy of the bottom, where the dragon sits and growling, goes up. And so the dragon is no longer a snake. It now can fly through your lungs. It takes a breath. Did you ever see a dragonfly? It starts as a nymph in the very messy environment, sometimes smelly, stuck water, some sort of swamp. And they could sit there for 4 years or something like that, up to 4 years. So if in your life you've been stuck for 4 years, that's the nymph stage. The nymph can become a dragonfly or not. It's not necessary, it's a potential. It's a potency, right? We could have children, but some of them are not born because we're impotent. Our energy is not raising the sacral energy. It sits in the coccyx and there is no child being produced. So some of us have potential to make money, but the energy sits at the coccyx, never goes to the stomach, where we digest life and we're able to to make a use of what we are digesting, not just food. So we're always eating instead of always creating something in the world that brings you wealth and well-being. And so when the nymph is done sitting there, and it's a mystical event, nobody knows when that happens, even the nymph doesn't know. It looks like a long worm, very ugly looking kind of thing, eating anything and everything that flies or moves through. It feels like it's enough. It starts sensing the light, the sunshine, and from that light it feels the impulse of the energy that creature never felt before. And it starts crawling, and it takes time. And then it leaves the muddy water, murky water, in which things are impossible to see or smell or understand, and you can only catch what's moving in front of you. And then it starts seeing more. It comes above the water, and it sees the world it never seen before, in light, in full color, and it starts crawling higher, even though by now she starts drying up and her skin starts cracking up. But nothing can stop her because she's coming from the emotional realm, which is the water our body is imprinted with all the emotions we've ever experienced. So it comes through into the air element, ether element, sun element, fire element. And the water is still in its body, and the earth is showing all the colors and all the possibilities in front of her. And the nymph comes higher and higher and higher, and at some point it is so dry it cannot move anymore. So it stops. It stops, And at this point, the nymph loses its hold on the creature inside. And the creature inside feels the light and cannot get through because the nymph body is pretty thick. So it has to wait for the right moment, but it starts moving, it starts moving, it starts moving. And then the moment comes and the nymph body cracks open. And the dragonfly comes out and it's tiny and the wings are like this. And when you look at it, it doesn't look like a good dragon. It just looks like a fly. But it keeps sitting there, keeps looking. Her eyes are like this. Did you see the eyes of the dragonfly? If you didn't, go on Google and see it. They all are different. The dragonflies around the world, I've seen many of them because I travel a lot. It's fascinating what they see and how many segments they see. 360. They could see everything. They see things that you would never see, but see things through the eyes of the dragonfly. By the way, you can buy the eye of the dragonfly. It's like a little periscope, a little tube with the glass that is faceted, facets of God, facets of humanity, facets of understanding the world. Put it through your eyes and you'll see the world you've never seen before. So anyway, the dragonflies, water gets dried up, but as it dries, the emotions, right? It also gives the power of the dragonfly wings. And it gets off and flies at some point. And that's the dragon I'm trying to awaken within myself and you. The power of levitation. You don't have to leave the earth, but your mind and your heart and your body should be able to levitate to the God, to the universe, to the sky, to the energy of prana. And as you're doing this, as the dragonfly is flying, nothing can stop it. Nothing. There is one bird which rarely is present that could catch it, but it's so fast and it's so beautiful, and it has colors that no birds come near it, and it's on its way, and it does its life. And however short, it's really bright and it's very light and it's really fast. So with this image, I'm gonna finish my broadcast. I love you very much, and that's my love expressed through the intention to give you knowledge that will save some of you from crisis, that will bring some of you to crisis. I'm a great crisis manager. If you need crisis management, I will be happy to help you. But whatever you receive is for you to open your mind, to be available to what's going on in life, because we come here for a blink of a moment. I don't know, I'm gonna live until 150 at least, but who knows, we're all under God. And so that blink of a moment needs to be bright enough, like a dragonfly flight fast, like a firefly light fast, but very bright. And even if you do not manage to do something you wanted to do, your impulse might inspire somebody else to get up and go, to get up and fly. So may you be blessed with amazing life, which translates into your personal year, your personal month, and your personal date. And that date that is happening right this moment is my day 5, which is about sequentiality of the action, because everything has a cause and effect. And very often the effect. So when we do not see the proper cause, we believe effect is the cause. And if effect is the cause for you, then the next effect will be only worse. Sometimes it's better, rarely. So to go deep to the root of what's going on, to the coccyx of the root, to move the energy up through the spine so your nervous system is available for you to analyze, to make connections, to have an embrace with life, to have a dance with life, will help you to see what's next and what are the steps to get you exactly where you need to go. But everything begins with first step. And the first step, start moving your body. That's not hard. Even if you move 5 minutes today more than you did before, that's already an accomplishment. And be proud of yourself, love it, and then try again, and try again, and try again. And pretty soon you'll see that trying is not a thing. Try not. Do or do not. Have an amazing day.